Welcome to the second section of the South Dakota 4-H Volunteer Orientation. This section will cover your responsibility as a volunteer to carrying out policies as it relates to civil rights, affirmative action, discrimination, and accessibility. Volunteers and clubs are a valuable asset to SDSU Extension and South Dakota 4-H. Any organization associated with SDSU Extension must conduct business with the same standards and attitudes as that of SDSU Extension. Club members, officers, leaders, and volunteers must understand the value of diversity and the expectations for equal opportunity requirements. Equal opportunity requirements apply to any setting where groups meet collectively within a county, region, state, or nationally. Membership of all clubs operating in interracial and non-interracial communities must be open to all individuals, regardless of race and gender. It is the policy of SDSU Extension to comply with Federal Law Title IX, which prohibits discrimination against individuals on the basis of gender. Title IX prohibits sex discrimination, including harassment. Sexual harassment is sexual violence, which includes sexual assault, rape, battery, sexual coercion, and all forms of domestic violence. Another form of sexual harassment is quid pro quo, and occurs when anyone in authority misuses his or her power to coerce sexual favors. Other behaviors that could be considered harassment include sharing sexually explicit or offensive jokes, making suggestive or offensive comments, or touching someone in any part of their body. Harassment on any grounds is strictly prohibited. SDSU Extension offers its programs and activities without discrimination based on sex, race, color, creed, national origin, ancestry, citizenship, gender, gender identification, transgender, sexual orientation, religion, age, disability, genetic information, veteran status, or any other status that may be protected under law against discrimination. Harassment is a form of discrimination and is not prohibited. As a volunteer, club and volunteers have the same civil rights requirements as SDSU Extension staff, in that they must encourage minority populations and underserved and underrepresented populations to participate in its program and activities. Club and volunteers are responsible for inviting all potential members to participate without regard to race, ethnicity, or gender. So what is a minority population? Minorities include all racial and ethnic minorities, females, as it could include males when participation has traditionally been limited to females. Underserved or underrepresented populations are groups of people that have typically been ignored, discriminated against, or denied access, such as low-income people, the elderly, the LGBT community, different religious groups, and those with disabilities. To help reach minority and underserved or underrepresented populations, you will need to know your potential audience. The potential audience is an individual or group that could be interested in your group or program. The South Dakota 4-H professionals can help you in assisting to define those minority populations in your community and identify ways to help you reach with your 4-H programming. Volunteers serve at the pleasure of the university. Any volunteer found to not be following civil rights guidelines, found to be harassing or discriminating against an individual based on the above guidelines can be removed and likely will be removed as a volunteer with South Dakota 4-H, SDSU Extension, and the South Dakota State University system. Assurance statements document the commitment of organizations and volunteers to comply with civil rights policies and regulations. All clubs and volunteers, educational partners, cooperating organizations, and entities must sign assurance statements. The assurance statements must be renewed annually and are distributed through the local 4-H county professionals. The United States Department of Agriculture prohibits discrimination in all sponsored programs and activities on the basis of race, color, national origin, gender, religion, age, disability, political beliefs, sexual orientation, and marital and family status. Discrimination in the 4-H program is contrary to the purpose and policies of SDSU Extension, South Dakota State University, and the South Dakota Board of Regents. SDSU has a designated Title IX coordinator to assist individuals with any concerns about sexual discrimination in education programs or activities. This includes discrimination on the basis of sex in admission to or employment in SDSU's education programs or activities. The grievance process to address these complaints, as well as any complaints of discrimination, will follow the South Dakota Board of Regents Human Rights Complaint procedures. Individuals with concerns should contact the SDSU Title IX Equal Opportunity Coordinator in the University Office of Human Resources. 4-H programs should be designed to consider the needs of participants with special needs and/or disabilities. All 4-H programs will comply with the current standards under the Americans with Disabilities Act of 1990. Individuals older than 18 years of age who have special needs are eligible to participate in 4-H, provided that they are still in a high school special education program. 4-H should be accessible to the wide variety of youth who live in South Dakota, regardless of their background and characteristics, including physical, mental, or emotional abilities and limitations. The primary purpose of 4-H is to provide all youth with the opportunity to grow and develop while maximizing their inner potential. We accomplish this objective by providing hands-on educational experiences using the knowledge base of SDSU Extension, other land-grant universities, and the United States Department of Agriculture. Ideally, children with disabilities should be able to participate in activities with their peers, and any necessary accommodations should be made to make that possible. Any accommodations for a child with a disability should allow a member with a disability to participate in the same collective activity as other youth at the same age level. Observation of an activity without direct involvement does not constitute participation. Not adversely affect how other participants in the program perform or are evaluated. Every effort should be made to minimize the effects of the accommodation on other participants. Be assessed on a case-by-case basis. The assessment of accommodation should include the child's parents, leader of the activity, and a 4-H program representative, such as your youth program advisor or a 4-H field specialist. Consultation with vocational rehabilitation professionals or professionals who teach or provide services to youth with disability is recommended to determine the appropriate and reasonable accommodations. Contact the state 4-H office to request these services. Be reasonable. Accommodations are considered reasonable if they do not change the fundamental nature of the program or alter the essential criteria for participation. If any accommodation does not alter the fundamental nature of the program, then it is reasonable and will be provided. Youth with disabilities will be judged using the same criteria as other participants. The accommodation should allow them to participate in the activity and achieve the criteria while not counted against the final determination of success. As 4-H volunteers, you're expected to not just treat each individual youth equally, give them each the exact same thing, but are expected to create equal learning opportunities. Examples of possible accommodations include modifying rules, policies, or timing of events, eliminating barriers, including providing interpreters, modifying equipment, providing additional spacing needs, providing verbal or modified testing, allowing the use of technology, or other uses of types of accommodations that may be needed. It is important to respect the privacy of the individual 4-H participant. Information regarding a youth's personal situation or disability is confidential. Any information that is gathered in order to assist the child with full participation must be used for that purpose only. To receive credit and complete this section, please return to the course module and complete the Section 2 review questions. There you will also find additional videos about civil rights and affirmative action from SDSU Extension that you may review on your own time.